Your production of this play was everything that one would wish for. You had your leading actor who played it well, they all played it truthfully, but that's what you want. You want real, genuine actors who can also play Shakespeare, Chekhov, because you've got to believe in their problems. It mustn't look as though they're just joking and larking around. All the productions I've seen of my plays, all over the world, they've all, well, 95% of them, have understood that you have to be truthful, that you need the energy. I mean, they're killing these plays for the actors. They're a cross between a sprint and a marathon. That's the technical side of it, but you've also got to be truthful. The Americans sometimes come unstuck doing them, sometimes, because they find it very difficult to be truthful and have the energy. Because all my plays, don't know how it came about, but they're all real time. It's real time. The curtain goes up, your leading player has a problem. It's got to be dealt with. It's got to be dealt with quickly. And the 2 hours that the audience is in the theatre is the 2 hours in this man's drama. So you need the energy to keep it going for 2 hours.
What's the difference between a farce and a comedy, in your opinion?
Well, I think in my farces, you're looking for real people that the audience can identify with. Real people in situations that are not really totally credible. And in comedy, you have eccentric people in totally real situations. That's one little thought, for what it's worth. My process is I write the script. Then I do a rewrite. Then the first thing I do is I have what we call a rehearsed play reading. We get an audience of about 200 people. We have here a theatre goers club, and I'm an invited audience, about 200 people. We rehearse maybe for 4 or 5 days, and we just read the actors with the script, no production values, just the script. And I learn a tremendous amount from that, because it's just the script and the actors and this small audience. And I learn, what I'm trying to learn really is not if it's funny, but do they take to the drama of the piece? Do they identify with the guy's problems or the lady's problems? And then I take it back to the drawing board and do a huge rewrite. I'm ruthless with my own work, absolutely ruthless. I go right back to the drawing board with funny money, one of the poster you saw back there, with funny money. I rewrote, after the rehearsed play reading, I rewrote the whole of the second act, because I'd gone down an avenue that wasn't right. So after that rewrite, we then go somewhere. There's some lovely theatres near London, Guildford, Windsor. And we try the play out in a proper production, but still not for the West End. And in these early productions, I always play in them. The rehearsed play reading, the tryout production, because I need to know what it's like up there with the audience, because that's all that matters. Is the audience involved with this? And I learn everything I need to know then. After Guildford or Windsor, another rewrite to get it right. So by the time we rehearse it for London, I know for sure where every single moment is. And the lovely thing for me is that the actors who play the roles in the West End, who probably haven't been involved with the play reading or the tryout, they know the process. They know what I've gone through. So, you know, they respect what's in the script, because they know I've done all the homework.
2 into 1, where came the idea from?
It's interesting about 2 into 1. To start with, 2 into 1 was about an actor and his stage manager. And the idea was that the actor was having an affair with his wife was also in the company, and he was having an affair with the juvenile girl in the company, and then he had to get the stage manager to help him. That was what the play was at the first read through, and it went wonderfully well. And I kept thinking, well, I don't know, but people expect actors to behave like this. You know, he's a leading actor. The actors have affairs with actresses. That's where's the drama here? Which is what I'm always looking for. What's the drama? But I did a rewrite and kept it. We tried it out as still as actors. It's first tryout, and again the audience laughed a lot. But I thought, and I was playing in it, and I felt they're not getting involved with the drama here. And then I thought, wait a minute, he's a politician. That's what he is. He's high up in the government. He's risking his career. The government could fall. So a big rewrite, but not with the comedic structure of it, really. But it did involve a big rewrite. Once I'd done that, the whole play dropped into place. And as it happened, luckily, all over the world, politicians every day, or once a year, which is happily enough for playwrights, some politician is foolish enough. You think, why do they risk it? Why do they risk it? Like, and they're so brazen with it, and they get caught. By the time we got it, then so I did a big rewrite, then another tryout, then it came into London, and then I'd got it right.
But it can be too many doors and too many drop trousers.
Well, no, that's true. That is true. But I think, hopefully, this is what makes it difficult each time to come up with something fresh. You know, because the basic premise and possibly the setting is always different. But you know, there's going to be no getting away from the fact that I write what I write. But I can see that what I've added to this is the dimension of algebra. They're very algebraic, my plays. They're very convoluted, which is half the fun of them. And you ask the audience to do a lot, which they didn't have to do so much in the old days, in inverted commas. You know, my plays, you really have to concentrate because they're convoluted, and the guy tells a lie which leads to a lie which affects the first lie, and he's told one person one thing and the other person something else, and then this person meets that person and he's told that person, or is it that person? Maybe it was the other person, and that's what makes it hopefully funny. So I think maybe somebody might say that Ray writes algebraic farces.
Yeah, so your plays are more plot-based than character-based.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking for the plot, and the characters serve the story. That's what happens in my... They don't sit there and say to be or not to be. They don't go on like... There isn't time, because it's all real time. His second wife is coming, and she might meet the first wife. He has to deal with it. He needs the help of a friend. You don't sit round there considering and discussing.
You're always right in real time.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 2 hours that the audience is in the theatre is the 2 hours in the lives, the drama of our leading character. And the marvellous thing about that, one of the huge bonuses, is that whereas in the older plays, you would probably have a time lapse. Sometimes it was 3 acts, and there would be a time lapse between the first and second act, the second and third act. So that's why they had a lot of butlers and maids at the beginning of each act to explain what had happened in the 4 weeks, 6 weeks, while the audience had been having a drink in the bar. Well, that doesn't happen in my plays. You reach a zenith of Act 1, oh my God, she's arrived. And in Act 2, the curtain goes up, and oh my God, she's arrived. And so the audience already start laughing because they laughed at the end of the first act, and she's still there, or whatever.
How to do a Ray Cooney farce?
The basic premise, the basic thing is not to try to be funny, but to play it as though you're playing Ibsen, Chekhov, Tennessee Williams, to play it for real. Because the play will sustain you. This is again the lovely thing that the actors say to me. The marvellous thing about the plays is that they will, if you just play the play, sustain you. Frequently, you will meet an audience that it might have been raining. They come into the theatre soaking wet. They don't feel like laughing. So you do meet dud audiences. But as long as you play, so this, if you have, in inverted commas, comedians in the play, this sometimes makes them nervous. The audience aren't laughing. We're doing a comedy. I've got to make them laugh. I'll do a funny face. I'll trip over. I'll put in a gag. It's diminishing returns. Once you do that, the audience say, oh, I see, they're just being funny. Well, I'll just sit back and wait for them to be funny. Whereas if you just play the play, continue to play it, sooner or later, the audience come to you. And by the end of the evening, that audience will be as good as any of the best audiences you've met. The secret is to play the play.